Hi, and welcome to my channel. Today I am bringing you some thrift flips, so let's get started. I'm also bringing you a wood project that I designed with my laser that I am going to be offering on my Etsy store. Now, this is just a prototype and this is the first version, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to make this up for summer. I love wearing sandals in the summer. I don't like wearing shoes much, so here we go. I am painting up these sandals in this, it's an Oops paint, and it's just a really pretty purple color. And I am using, it's like 5 millimeter backer board. This is the same wood that I used to shiplap my laundry room and my sitting room, TV room, and I had a little bit of it left over, and so I was just using it up to create some wood kits, some wood cutout kits for my Etsy store. So this is just a prototype, and I thought, you know what, we're going to go with some pretty little flowers. And didn't clean my brush. I like to mix colors a lot, so I am using this seashell pink, I believe is what it's called, and I am using the little bit of purple that was left in my brush, and I'm just going over these wood flower cutouts. And now I am just painting the actual sandal thong piece that goes between your toes. And this is just going to get painted white on one side. I do not do the back side because I am going to be using wood glue to glue this together, and I want some good adhesion. So I am not going to be using hot glue. So I give all these little pieces 2 good coats of just white paint. And then I decide I'm going to put some polka dots on these little sandals because I want to make them fun and summery. And when I think of summer, I think of the beach, I think of 4th of July, I think of a lot of things. So today is the Hello Summer collaboration, and I am making projects for that. Now, other than this project, everything else will be thrift flips today, but I just wanted to make a wood cutout kit and wanted to get your guys' opinion on it. Would you buy this on Etsy? It turns out super cute, and I love how these flowers look on these sandals. So let me know what you think. So after I cut out the flowers, there is a little, the middle piece to the flower that you can leave in there or take out. But I had these are actual skull eyeballs because I made a skull prototype. Um, anyway, you'll see that in an upcoming video. And so these are like the eyeballs that went in the skulls that was cut out, and it actually looked super cute on top of these flowers as a middle piece. And so I used them there. And I love how these turned out. I thought they turned out super cute. And I did use wood glue to adhere all the pieces together. And then I'm just using my big round brush to make some dots in the middle of the flowers. And I think these turn out super cute. So let me know what you think. Now, I was going to leave them hanging individually, but they didn't hang straight. So I just tied some jute around, well, through the holes and then on one side. You can tie these however you want. Now, I will probably tie them differently the next time I make them, but for this time, I just tied them together and I did glue the backside of the sandals together so that they would hang straight. So let me know what you think about project number 1. Now on to project number 2. This canvas I did get off of Temu, and I thought it was super cute because I love bees and I know bees are very, very popular. Now I have these cabinet doors, so I am painting this cabinet door black. I had originally painted it white and I didn't like how the canvas looked on the door. So I went over it with black, and now I am just covering this cabinet door with a good amount of Mod Podge. And I didn't clean my brush because it doesn't matter. You're not going to see it. And I just put the Mod Podge on there, gave it a good, nice, even coat. And then I put my canvas, and this is pretty heavy duty canvas, guys. I put my canvas right back on the cabinet door. I make sure it's straight, and then I flatten it out after I add some more Mod Podge. I just want to make sure that those edges are good and glued down. Now, I do not go over the top of this with Mod Podge because it doesn't need it. The canvas is pretty thick, and I just use my Cricut tool to make sure that I got all the bubbles out and that every inch of the back was covered in Mod Podge. And this worked perfectly well. I did not miss any edges, so I'm pretty happy with that. But I loved this canvas, and for summertime, I love my bee decor. Now, to add a little bit of extra something something to this canvas instead of just sticking it on a back of a cabinet door, I did get these furniture nails at Lowe's. And I cut the backs off as much as I could because my cabinet door is not that thick around the edges. And I just tap these in. Well, actually, I hot glue them and I tap them in um, to the corners of this canvas, and then I also do in between. And you can see I just tap it in. I covered the top with a soft towel so that way it didn't scratch. And you can see that I'm just going in between. I was like, okay, we got to measure this. And I'm like, no, we don't. Just eyeball it. I was going to measure it with both hands. Is that how you measure stuff? No, no, it's not. But that's okay. So let me know what you think about this one, guys. All right, like I said, today is the Hello Summer collaboration. Our special guest host is Charlene from Crafty Art Shack. I will have the link down below in my description box for this collaboration so you can go over and visit the playlist.
Vevor sent me this airbrush kit, and I've never airbrushed before in my life, so this may be an experience. You can use this for makeup, paint, cooking, decorating cakes, cookies, and all that stuff, which that's what I'm going to do, is use it to decorate some cupcakes. So I know 4th of July is coming up, summer's coming. I mean, summer is here. We got birthdays and all kinds of stuff. So when you're in a time crunch and you don't have time to make cupcakes and you go to the store and you find cupcakes that are blue and white, well, this is a little bright for me, although my daughter would love these for KU. But we're going to take that frosting off and put on some white frosting and airbrush these. So these would also be great for 4th of July, but we're not doing 4th of July. Today we're going to be doing some summer color cupcakes. So I don't know what colors I'm gonna go with, but we're gonna figure it out, and hopefully I can get this thing to work and my cupcakes will look halfway decent. I don't know. We'll try. It says cupcake icing. It's white and it's in a can, like aerosol can, like spray cheese. My husband was so excited about it. These 4 tips and this one. So we'll see what this looks like. Maybe we'll try all 4. Best one. Best one yet. Okay, well, I don't know how I feel about that in a can, but it doesn't look like it's set up as I like my royal icing. So anyway, let's get to airbrushing.
Vevor sent me this airbrush kit to try, and it has 3 different settings on it. So that is like the level of spray or the pressure that it pushes out the product. Now, I just put in straight food coloring and I did not mix it with water, and maybe I should have, but I didn't want the water to have kind of an effect on the frosting. So I just used straight food coloring and I started out with green, and you could see that I kind of experimented there on the paper. I was trying to prime my airbrush to make sure that I started with a good flow, and I started airbrushing before I got to the cupcakes, and then I went past the cupcakes a little bit. That way I didn't have any start and stops and runs. So when you're using this with paint, that's what you're going to want to do. But for cupcakes, you could maybe just hone in on your product. But I did always test it out on the paper before I started spraying. And I started with green, and then I added blue, and that turned to teal, which is gorgeous, and then I added yellow. And so these look ombre to me. And the yellow just kind of added some highlights. But this was super easy to use. I literally plugged it in, started airbrushing within a few minutes. But other than that, it was super easy to figure out. Everything was already put together. They give you everything you need to clean the airbrush afterwards, and you have multiple little canisters for different kinds of paint and product. And I don't know where that footage went, but I am sorry, it did not get recorded for some reason. If you're interested in the airbrush, I will have that product listed down below in my description box.
Okay, so that worked really well. So I could definitely see you using this for makeup, crafts, baking. I mean, I got 3 different colors on this one. I don't know if you can tell really well, but I got the teal, the green, and the yellow in the middle. Talk about pretty. Now that is pretty. I could not get my red to work, and I probably just need new food coloring, but these worked. This worked really well. It does have 3 different settings, low, medium, and high. The low you usually do with food, depending on how intricate of a design you're doing, and that's the one you would use for makeup. The other settings you could use for larger cakes, if you were just doing an all over one color, or larger craft projects. So I'm going to be trying this with my paint. I just wanted to use it with food first. Now, it did come with everything you need as far as cleaning goes. It comes with all kinds of brushes, tips, I mean, everything. So you can get a good thorough cleaning, and you want to clean it after every use, just to make sure that you keep your machine nice and in good working order. And I want to thank Vevor for sending me this airbrush kit. I've never done it before, but that was pretty simple. And I mean, if you can airbrush it, why would you mix the food coloring in and make a mess? So I would probably be doing this again for sure, especially for birthdays. My stuff is falling down. I have another idea to use this with some white roses that I could airbrush some color onto, but I've got to get online and get me some airbrush paint. So I will be doing that very soon because I do want to use this for painting. All right, guys, let me know what you think.
All right, guys, now on to the next project. I picked this up at the thrift store the other day. I've been waiting for it to go on clearance or on sale, and they were actually having a half off sale on green items. So I got this bottom of a lantern for $2.50. It was regularly $5. And I had been eyeballing it for some time now, and I kept checking it. and I actually looked at it and put it back on the shelf, and then I went back and was like, "Wait a second. Today is Green Day. What are you doing, Tammie? Pick that up." So I was so happy. I was like, "Finally, I get to bring this baby home with me," because every time I went in there, I touched it, and I was so afraid I was gonna knock it off the shelf because they always had it on the top shelf. It was irritating. Anyway, and it's pretty freaking heavy, so I was afraid I was gonna drop it, knock it off the shelf, because I'm like a bull in a china cabinet sometimes. All right. So I just found these flowers also at the same thrift shop. They were not marked, so they sold them to me for $2 that day for the bundle. So I was very happy. I added some fern that I got from Timu, and I added some white flowers that I think came from Dollar Tree. And I just arranged these flowers until I was satisfied, and that's all I did. I just put them in this lantern and filled it in. And I love these colors. I think they are so pretty. I love the differentiation, say that 10 times fast, of the green color. And I just love how this turned out. So let me know which one of these projects so far is your favorite and if you're liking this lantern look. Have you been on the lookout for lanterns? Because I am always on the lookout for lanterns now. If they are reasonably priced, I'm going to snag them. All right, so I'm finally satisfied with how these looked, and here it is on my mantle. Now, what I like about this lantern, because it's clear, you could add sand, little stones, anything you wanted to, like little seashells or something. You could add all different kinds of items in the bottom of that lantern and make it look super cute. All right, guys, here is the last DIY. Now, I am making a book stack and I have a project coming up to show you how I recycle the book covers. But for now, we're going to just make a book stack and we're going to make a patriotic book stack. This was supposed to be in my video the other day, but I missed it somehow. So what I do is I take this burlap ribbon, I make sure that it's wider than my patriotic ribbon, and I wrap it around these books. I put the burlap ribbon on and I don't glue it straight to the book. I glue the burlap to the burlap because I might want to recycle these books again. And then I take this patriotic ribbon, which I have no idea where I got it, but I got 2 rolls of it somewhere. And I think I got it at the thrift store, honestly, but I have no idea. There's no markings on it, and I couldn't tell where I bought it from. And it was in my stash, so who knows where I got it from. I probably had it for years. So I glue the patriotic ribbon to the burlap ribbon, and then I fold over the burlap ribbon and make sure that my lines match up, and that way I have a clean edge. And then I take this white lace that I got at the thrift store the other day. I think it was 50 cents. I couldn't see there. 25 or 50 cents. I don't know. It wasn't that much. And I wrap this around. I love the look of layered ribbon. Do you guys love the look of layered ribbon? I do. I think it looks super cute. And I just follow around the line, glue this down. And then I glue the lace ribbon on top of the lace ribbon where the seam is, and then I cut off the extra. I make sure that it's nice and neat. And these scissors are terrible for cutting fabric. They're good for cutting everything else, but terrible for cutting fabric. And then I just cut some more of this Patriotic ribbon, and I'm just going to make a simple bow. And I just do the crisscross method. So you just crisscross your bow or your ribbon from an awareness bow and scrunch it down into a little shoelace bow. And then I take some jute string and I wrap around there several times, and then I just tie it in a couple of knots. I dovetail my ends, and then I'm going to glue it on top of my book stack. And that's all there is to that one. All right, guys, don't forget to go over and visit Ellie's channel from DIY from House to Home and Charlene's channel from the Crafty Art Shack. I will have their channels as well as the playlist listed down below in my description box. And if you have not gone over and visited these ladies' channels, you need to do so. Charlene is just a hoot. I love watching her videos. She makes me laugh every single time, and Ellie is just the sweetest little thing, and she makes the cutest farmhouse decor. All right, guys, now here is my final look. Let me know what you think. Which projects were your favorite? I love the bee sign, but I also love the lantern. I don't know, it's hard to tell because I love the flip-flops too. All right, guys, I love every single project I made this week. Let me know what you think, and I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you so much. If you have not done so, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. And yes, if you did notice, this video is a few days behind. I was busy traveling for work and I just did not have enough time to get it completed. Have a great weekend.